It- what's that? What's going on? But today is 4/24/23, and I hear some kind of alarm or something. This is Saintjerome of Crypto Experiences bringing you another crypto experience, but I hope we're okay. Oh my gosh, it's alert, condition red. Hit the panic button now. Press the panic button. I think that took care of the alarm. Whew, okay, thank goodness we had a panic button. I was in a bit of a panic. So, what's going on? Rumors flying all around the place. Wow, what's going on in the world? Are we going towards another banking run? Or kind of rumors on that? How do we protect ourselves? What do we do? What's the future of finance? Don't worry, I'm here to help. I borrowed this silver sword of Bix Ware, who's on your left as you're looking at the screen, and on your right is Bitcoin Ben, sporting a very nice cardinal hat. So anyway, don't never fear. The three Avengers are here. Well, I'm a minor podcaster, and these guys are major podcasters. They have thousands of people, and I'm heading towards my first 1,000. So, but I did get a hold of Bix's silver sword. This is not financial advice, but what would Saint Jerome do? Just my opinion right now. So, what would if I had money, what would I put my money into? Well, let's first look at the big three things that are a good place to put your dirty fiat dollars if you want to survive that panic situation. First of all, a little cash probably goes a long ways because if things all of a sudden the bank cards don't work and the ATMs aren't functioning, you go to the bank and there's a sign that says closed for a bank holiday. Having some cash on hand will come in handy right away. Then what? Well, then our next two backups are precious metals and some kind of cryptocurrency. Now, there's debates on those two fields, of course. So, one debate is with gold and silver. What would you choose? Gold's traditionally been seemed to be very valuable, but I want to tell you things I've been listening from podcasts, and I believe this to be true. If everybody in the world had an equal amount of gold of all the gold that's ever been mined, everybody in the world would have 0.75 ounces of gold. Huh. If every piece of silver, every ounce of silver that's ever been mined was distributed to everyone in the world, each person would have 7 ounces of gold. 7 ounces of silver, sorry. So 7 ounces of silver. So what's the ratio? Is it 80-1 as we see right now, or is it more like 8, 9, 10-1? And then there is what happens to silver once it is mined. Poof, we put it into different technology, and those technologies are using up the silver rapidly. Even the solar panels, I'm hearing in just a few years, are going to take all the silver mined in a certain year. Well, what about the other technologies, flat screen TVs, cell phones? Wow, Tesla cars, they take all these things take lots of silver. Why do you ask? Because it's the best conductor of electricity. So, precious metals. Well, if you're going to get into gold, you can take a lot of wealth along with you right now with a small piece of gold, but it's hard to break it down. Would you have to take your knife and do some whittling around the edges and get those gold shavings off? Or you can go into silver and get some fractional silver and maybe be able to barter smaller amounts. Now, while it lasts, pre 1964 American minted coins, except for nickel, because they're not nickel, uh, are were 90% silver. So the dimes, the quarters, the half dollars, the silver dollars were 90% silver. When I was a child, I'm that old. When I was a child, I went to the bank before about the age of 8, and when I got changed, it was all silver. Being a little bit of a coin collector back then, I remember when I read the coin magazine and it said, wow, we got this new fancy bimetal coin. It's going to have a copper insert in the middle. I said, well, those are cool. I can't hardly get any weight in any of those coins. Let's get rid of all my funky coins that are just one color. Oh boy. if I just kept some of those back now. So what's a dime going for now? A silver dime lately is going for about $3. I just had a coin shop the other day and they were selling for $3. How much is a silver quarter? Well, that's going for about $6.25, $6.50. Well, how about a half dollar? Well, that's going for about $13 or so. So I was at one coin shop, they wanted 25 times the face value. Another coin shop, they wanted 26 times the face value. So but you can anyway have, say, a dime, and you can make a barter trade as low as $3. If you got that same fraction in gold, you're probably talking like 200 some dollars. So that makes a big difference right now. Here's a picture of Cliff High that I've given before, but Cliff High and his web bots have predicted $600 silver, and then it keeps on going past that. Now, will gold go up at the same time? Yeah, gold will go up, but the ratio is going to get smaller, and silver is going to go up faster. So, web Cliff High made web bots, and I remember running in the Cliff in the 90s, I think on Coast to Coast AM for the first time with Art Bell of all people. And what these web bots did is they went out through the web and they got unique language, and it went all over all the different countries, and they came back and then was assembled in what were people saying in their speech that was different and strange. And when you kind of put those together, you start to see things happening, and they tended to be future trends. And it's been pretty accurate. The only thing I noticed, and other people notice this too, is when we thought they were going to happen, they didn't happen necessarily at that same exact time. But then later, bam, they started to happen different things. So anyway, uh, Cliff is a big one for that. But looking over on the other side, Bitcoin and future, he had web bots predicting $100,000 Christmas time parties celebrating the wealth with your friends with your Bitcoin. So that's still to come. Now, here is the cartoon version of the caricature version of Bix Ware, who also pumps silver, and most of his podcasts are on silver. He was a person who dealt in silver. Then he realized that they were artificially keeping the price held down, and that so the dollar would just not explode. But it's going to get harder and harder to do that, and we're already seeing it ready to go. The silver dealers are running out of silver. Junk silver is getting very hard to come by. uh, Comex is running short on silver. I think I just read today that the U.S. Mint is starting to shut down the minting of the silver eagles. So yeah, we're getting a little bit low on silver. Uh, this slide says Bix thinks buy silver while it's still under $600 an ounce. So some people are predicting that price in the not too distant future. I'm even hearing some what seems like crazy things that a tube of silver, which is 20 coins, 1 ounce coins, will go as high as $3,000, and then $10,000, and then someone is predicting $50,000 eventually. Wow. This isn't silver right now, but in Weimar, Germany, I learned a long time ago that at the height of the hyperinflation of their mark, that you could buy an entire city block of buildings for 1 gold ounce. Wouldn't take that many silver ounces in, too. Well, if you need some silver, you can go to this man, Andy Schectman of Miles Franklin. They're one of the top silver dealers in the United States and in the world, actually. They've had some big orders. Somebody ordered $100 million in silver, and trying to get all United States mint, the 1964 and below junk silver, the Silver Eagles. But it was hard to fill that order for anybody to get all like American minted. If you'd like to get some silver from Andy, he'll give you a real good price. Mention this podcast. You can email Andy at milesfranklin.com. And so that's Andy, ANDY, at Miles Franklin. Miles Franklin's all one word, MILESFRANKLIN.com. And please tell them that Saint Jerome of Crypto Experiences sent you, and he'll be happy to give you a real good price on your metals. Well, what's the next thing we go into? We talked about cash. We talked about metals. And one thing more to add about metals, it has been money through the time. A little quirky thing with metals and green bills. Those Federal Reserve notes are not part of the US government. They are debt that is loaned to the government. And so every dollar put into circulation by the Federal Reserve is debt. Now, on the other hand, the United States Treasury, when they mint coins, the coins are part of the true United States government. And so they are not made at debt. And they do have value because they have a metal value. One strange thing right now is every once in a while, the metals in the coin is worth more than the coin. Obviously, in the silver, that's happened, and you can't make them out of silver anymore, right? A dime would be $3 or so. That happened with pennies. The copper became too valuable, and so they had to add other metals to it to do that. Well, right now, there's a little secret out there. The last time I heard that the metal in a nickel is worth 6 cents. It was worth 7 cents. Because so you can imagine that. So if you bought like $1 million worth of nickels, that's a lot of nickels, you would make like bam 100,000 simply by the metal of holding it. Huh. I wonder if there's anybody that would go out and do that. That sounds heavy and sounds like a lot of nickels. There isn't anybody crazy enough to actually go and get a bunch of nickels, is there? Who would be such a person? What? Who's that? I see. It is Charles Davis. Went in and bought 2 big boxes of nickels. That man made money by buying nickels. I've also heard a rumor that Clint Westwood of Litecoin fame did the same thing. Huh. It's actually a pretty smart thing, by the way. Well, as President Bukele reminds us, Bitcoin can be very helpful when you're going to need to have your assets something besides the US dollars. A lot of countries are now starting to move towards making it legal tender. El Salvador's had a legal tender for a while with the US dollar. I bet they use less US dollars here pretty soon. And their neighbors, I saw Guatemala, I think Costa Rica, were starting to make more areas where you could go and spend your Bitcoin. I'm hearing Brazil is going to do it. A lot of African countries use crypto and they use Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is right up there. But what's the downside of Bitcoin? Great store of value. It's the original one. It's been solid. Uh, it's been going since what, 2009 or so, and that's great. But is it the very best ones for transactions? Well, a lot of my friends in the Litecoin fam say no, it is Litecoin. Uh, Here are 2 huge proponents of Litecoin. Folks, if you need help and you're having a problem, just call on the man in front on the Harley Davidson, Clint Westwood, with the mighty Litecoin Lisa Davis behind him. They're off to get some Litecoin funds for their friends and neighbors. And they have, of course, the Second Amendment in there with that pink BB gun and their Harley Davidson. Off they ride into the apocalypse to help those who need Litecoin. They have funded many events and they've run many events. It's just like the Team Mighty event this last weekend, which was great. And you're looking for Litecoin, it can be a very quick transaction, especially compared to Bitcoin. And here's a little secret: the halving is coming up very soon, and Bitcoin and Litecoin get near the halving, the value in that dirty fiat seems to rise and rise and rise. So, little parenthetical thought. You may have noticed the market here this last few days has dropped. I've been anticipating a drop. Some of the people I listen to believe there's going to be a big drop. And in my personal opinion, not financial advice, I believe there's going to be a big drop. So I moved a little bit over to some other things for a while, and I don't, not a lot, hardly anything, but move it back, and I do believe then we're going to see a meteoric rise. I think we're going to get that $100,000 Bitcoin. And what will Litecoin? Litecoin should be at least 4 to 1 with Bitcoin. If it gets that true value, then we're talking like 25,000 for Litecoin. I think it's quite possible. Litecoin is much faster than Bitcoin and transactions. So it's a good currency. So my pick, my personal pick for that style of crypto is Bitcoin and Litecoin. And you can throw Dogecoin in there too. You got good old Elon Musk pumping the Dogecoin up, and that could be a way to make exchange pretty quickly. And here's you may not know kind of thing too. Did you know you can merge mine Litecoin and Dogecoin and mint uh, and mine both of them at the same time? That's pretty amazing. So you get 2 for 1 sale. And then you got those on the XRP camp and the XLM camp, which I've talked about in many other videos before. So XRP, the big bunch held by Ripple Labs and Stellar Lumens. There are also other ones that are in the same camp, like HBAR, Quant, Algorand, I believe, and I can't think of all. There's 7 main ones. But what makes these a possible use coin and maybe can bring a lot of wealth to people is they are ISO 222 compliant, and they're going to help replace the SWIFT system. Now, here's the controversy. Some of my buds like Bixware and Bitcoin Ben say it's a banker coin and it is no good. Oh, I made an X accent. Sorry, guys, but it's no good whatsoever. The evil people are going to use it. Um, that could be, but I also see that it solves some problems in liquidity too. So, is it evil to dabble in it a little bit? Have a little bit of Bitcoin, have a little bit of Litecoin, have a little bit of XRP, have a little bit of Stellar. Now, the people in this camp, like Mel Carmine, who has a big XRP, mainly XRP, a big channel. He is a big proponent that XRP is going to be the only one. In the Stellar camp, you have a lady named Emily Tang, who's an expert on Stellar, and she believes Stellar is going to be the more important coin. I would say, in my opinion, not financial advice, diversify. Add a little bit of cash, add a little bit of silver, maybe even a little bit of gold, a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Litecoin, and a little XRP and a little XLM. Some of these coins are pretty darn cheap right now. XLM, I think I saw it was falling today. I think it's about 8 cents roughly a coin. You get a lot of coins for 8 cents. XRP, I believe myself, personal belief is going to fall and then rise, much like Bitcoin is going to do. Today it was around 46 cents. Still pretty cheap. You can get a lot of XRP for not very much money, right? Litecoin is a bargain, I think. It's around 86. And when it gets near the halving, not a prediction, but maybe $200. It may push. Its all-time mark was in the 300s, and then after the crash of 217, they all fell. Litecoin never got back up to its height once again, but Bitcoin did and passed up its own height. So those are real good to hold on to. Again, not financial advice, but there is a sleeper in the back, and that is Theta of the Theta Network. Here's why it's a sleeper. I heard Bix Ware talking that Zimbabwe is trying to come up with digital currency that would be backed by gold. And Zimbabwe doesn't have a lot of credence right now. Remember those 300 trillion dollar Zimbabwe notes, and it took like great big handfuls of bills just to get a carton of eggs. Well, these guys are actually got some gold they're going to put together. So how do we believe them? How do we know that they're telling us the truth? Is that gold really there? Well, if you put it on a blockchain, and especially it looks like the Theta blockchain behind us, you can verify that you have that. I'm a big fan of Theta. It's going to be used also to solve our streaming on our internet. When you get that little circle goes around, um, some remote viewers saw it hitting some big heights, and they're talking like $1,000, $2,000. Hitomi was one who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but she was predicting big things, generational wealth with Theta. Penny Kelly, who's has some psychic ability, she was predicting it. Michelle Whiteduff, who also passed away recently, they were seeing big things. So big proponent of Theta is Bix Weir. And I go along with Bix. So Bix is pushing uh, silver and Theta. He also likes Litecoin for exchanges. So none of that's financial advice. But to sum up what the things we've talked about here is cash for the short term, silver, especially. If I was to pick something, that's what I would pick, not financial advice. Use case for Bitcoin and Litecoin. Litecoin really could be useful for exchange. How will you send your gold overseas to buy something and verify it gets back? Not have to have digital currency of some kind. And that's where these kind of come in. Well, then the XRP and the XLM and the other ISO 222 coins are going to say, ours are better for overseas transactions. You can actually back up your gold. You can actually back up your silver with one of these. So I think they got a good point. And then Theta, I think it's going to do real well. So it's kind of languishing right now, but it's got such a system. Theta has the Theta coin, the main software, and then Theta Fuel is what you get rewarded with if you use Theta. They say, hey guys, come in, use my bandwidth on my computer that I don't need. And they run the internet through your computer to gain bandwidth, and boom, you get rewarded in Theta Fuel. Samsung TVs are going to have Theta Fuel built in. A lot of big companies are in Theta. Google's in it. Uh, Samsung's in it. There's at least 10 really large companies that, so the future for Theta is good. So you've got cash, you got precious metals, you've got Bitcoin, Litecoin, you got XRP and XLM and Theta. So now, where can you get crypto? Well, one little trick I've been talking about is I use the Strike app and I buy Bitcoin. And then on the Strike app, you can get, I think, all these ones we just mentioned today. You can trade inside the Strike. No, sorry, the Strike app. You buy Bitcoin. The Bitcoin you move to Exodus. Inside the Exodus wallet, then you can trade for all these coins we mentioned today. Well, if you want to save something on fees, and you can go with $2,000 or so, you really want to make a deal with, you can go to Caleb and Brown. Now, I have a discount code for Strike. I believe if you use my discount code and you get $100 of Bitcoin, I think that's what they're at. We each get $5 for free. So that's a good deal for me, a good deal for you if you use my code down below for the Strike app. And then also then for Caleb and Brown, if you want to make the large transaction, if you use my code, you get a permanent 3.5% fee. And if you check the fee structures out there, that's really good. I was looking at a Bitcoin ATM the other day, 21%. And then one of the more highly vaulted one with a lower rate was 16%. Good grief. That's like highway robbery. Um, so you can go to Caleb and Brown /Saintjerome and you get my discount. And that I'd greatly appreciate. That'd be cool. I will put those links down below. So anyway, I hope this was informative for you. I still have my 1,000 subscriber contest going on when I get my 1,000 subscriber, and that the next person who makes a comment down below after I get the 1,000th number, they will get 10, what is it? 10,000 Satoshis or so. Wow, that's about $2.70 today. And I may sweeten the pot a little bit. Okay, so a like and a thumbs up, but especially that subscribe would be great. If you'd like to see a podcast on anything in the crypto world, because this is Crypto Experiences, just make a comment below and I will try to make said podcast. Thank you for watching once again. Have a good day.